Australia's most loved companies in 2019. I think the two companies we're going to talk about definitely deserve the praise. And we have the folks who are responsible for a lot of it, actually, driving all that attention, driving the love to their respective companies. And so I want to make an introduction. But first, I wanted to say hi to my co-host, Steve Rosenberg, who just is broadcasting from somewhere in Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney, Australia.
Sydney, just make sure it's not Sydney, Minnesota.
Yes, correct.
I don't know if there's Sydney, Minnesota. Is there?
It could be. You never know. It could be.
There's a Sydney, Nebraska.
Oh.
Is it like Springfield where there's one of those in every state?
It could be.
It could be. But, you know, Florida has a lot of interesting city names. But, yeah, anyway, so Steve is in Australia, but that's okay because we're going to have a good one for you today for sure. And let me introduce our guests, and then we'll dive right into the topic. The first guest, I'm going to say her name is Drea. Drea Poole. She's yeah. That's
I'm nervous, Alex. What's the matter, man?
Well done. Well, because I don't know how to present the next thing. What I'm going to say, start with the easy stuff. First of all, she played volleyball in South Dakota and Wyoming. I imagine colleges, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I play volleyball a lot. Like I've played for the last 9 years. You can laugh or not. I'm not very tall, nor I'm, very thin, but I play good volleyball and I love the game. Sand, grass, court, whatever. So love it. The picture you sent us with the introduction was awesome. Maybe we'll have it in the show notes if Steve's technical team can figure out how to embed images. we'll see. But here's the next thing I'm gonna say about Drea. This one, kind of a little baffling to me. She says that her plan was to always have my own business, AI in the cattle. Now, I'm from Silicon Valley, and AI here is a big, big movement. It's artificial intelligence. And, if you have that on your resume or if you have that on your pitch deck, you're getting millions in funding. Drea, what's AI in your case?
So honestly, coming from Wyoming, I never knew AI was for artificial intelligence until I moved down to Texas, because growing up in Wyoming, AIing was always artificial inseminating cattle, which I was always going to have my own business for. My dad and my little brother had a whole stock trailer figured out to where I could go mobile and AI cattle. So
that's fantastic. So Drea is our first contestant. Let me just talk a little bit about what I know from what she's able to kind of put together for her company that she represents here. One of the loved companies is Property Mail. They solve maintenance, from a digital perspective and help property management companies just kind of make sense of all of the probably most difficult part of the business, right? Streamlining, organizing, and helping them get actually good reviews on the tail end of it from the tenants who receive good service. But so you started it with Property Mail just a year ago, right?
A little over a year ago. Yep, January 15th, 2018.
Wow.
It'll be a day I never forget.
That's fantastic. I mean, the way I see and the way you show up in social media and conferences, like as if you've been working there for as long as it has existed, probably like 3 years. I don't know. 3 years is long in tech companies, but yeah.
It's, there's more to it. I mean, I know we'll probably hit it up again later on down the road, but people who do know that the CEO is also my brother. So technically I have been knowing what Property Mail has been doing and from the start. So it does feel even like to me, I've been here a lot longer than a year.
Yeah. Knowing and doing, two different things. So you're a doer. And that's what we're going to explore today and find out how other business owners like Steve and I and our listeners can copy some of the strategies that Ray and Thad employed to get you two wonderful human beings to represent their companies so well. Steve, you want to introduce our second guest? She can't wait.
Absolutely. So our good friend, Ruth Rossbach. I get it right, Ruth?
You did. Great job.
Awesome. So this girl, I got to say, I only met her maybe a month ago, but I had virtually met her quite a while ago from conversations and just being tagged and stuff and already knowing who she is by not even knowing her. And obviously very, very competitive person, which will prove very worthy later. But I mean, this girl's swimming at Rutgers, Olympic trial team, not once but twice. Is that right? Or you were close to making?
I just missed Olympic trials twice by hundredths of a second. Once when I was in college, and then once after I took an 8-year break and then came back to it.
Right, and
I was in college.
Yeah, that's amazing. Mom, you have a 8-year-old boy currently, right?
Yep, 8-year-old boy.
And then you're involved still in the swimming arena. Is that correct?
That is correct. So I'm also the president for Raleigh Area Masters swim team in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is one of the largest adult swim programs in North Carolina. And we're also a nonprofit, so we do a lot of work with adult learn swim programs and intercity kids swim meets and whatnot. So still heavily involved, and I love it. And I still swim to this day.
Okay. And then how long have you been with Filter Easy for?
It'll be 2 years on April 17th.
She's got a year on Drea. Interesting.
Yeah.
I have a few years, Andrea. I have a few years. Let's be honest.
No, I'm kidding.
Now, here's what I find interesting, though, Alex. Now you have both of these ladies have very barely. I mean, I think it's safe to say, been in this industry in a very short time, but have made a very, very large impact. I mean, I would say most people in this industry and social media, they know who these girls are, but they also know what their company does. So, I think what you're seeing, in my opinion, Alex, you tell me, you're the marketing guy, is that people resonate more with the personality of the people, not necessarily with the company. So they don't want to see the CEO of Coca-Cola. They want to see what the CEO of Coca-Cola does when he goes home. They want to see that kind of stuff. And I think that's what
authenticity, represent face, humanizing the brand is the way Jordan would say it, because, he likes big words.
He does like big words, yeah.
Putting your face on a company, to me, is just as good and just as descriptive. But you're absolutely right. So let's dive into it, Steve. If you don't mind, I queued up this question because I want to know, and our audience is on the edge of their seats right now, because I want to know what drives you, right? Clearly, both of you are extremely passionate for your companies, for what you do. You put in your heart and soul into it, and you're good at it. Ruth is #1 salesperson for the year for Filter Easy, and they have like 60 salespeople, right?
We just have that much of a presence that it seems like it's 60 people.
Oh,
I think maybe we've got, and I don't know the exact number right now, I think we have 10.
10 is still top 10%. All right. And Drea is #1 because what? There's only one of you. You're knocking this out of the park. They don't need any more because you sell more than they can build.
Yeah, no, we are. I mean, it's not a secret. We're hiring like crazy. And so right now, am I the only senior solutions expert? Yes, but we are hiring fast. I'm excited.
Nice. Fancy.
So yes, #1.
Awesome. So what drives that passion? What I want to know is, why do you care so much? Let's start. Well, either one of you ladies, choose your turn, but why do you care so much?
Okay, well, I'll go. So why do I care so much? So I'll backtrack a little bit. I knew nothing about property management before I started working at Filter Easy. Also knew nothing about filters. But I've always had a deep and genuine care for people. I genuinely love meeting new people, getting to know people and helping them out. I've always worked in sales. I had my own art business for a while. Actually was in car sales, with luxury car sales, because I enjoy meeting that person and talking to them, getting to know them, figuring out what it is that they need, and then helping them find that solution. And that's what drives me most of all in everything that I do.
So you love genuine love of people. I got it. Drea, what do you have to say? What is your passion?
So, I mean, honestly, I love to work. I love coming to work. And especially with this job, I mean, it's a whole new level. As Ruth and I actually never knew anything about the industry myself before coming in, and it was a whirlwind of research and reaching out to people and learning more about it. But I love solving people's problems. Like, I'm a debater for a reason at heart. Like, I want to get to the root of the problem, and I want to help you solve it. And so, as some of you have seen, like the Facebook Live post I did January 17th, because I forgot it was 15th for a year. I actually have done a lot of jobs before this one, and none of them have ever had the fulfillment and the excitement that this job provides. And so the love for coming to work is because of the job, and I get to help people.
So I got to, on that note for both of you ladies, I'm curious because you guys are both sports people, right? You guys grew up in sports, playing sports, and I'm a big sports person. Alex, I don't know if fishing is considered a sport, but we'll say it is. But I know you do martial arts, Alex. But do you guys think that is part of what drives you, that competition? Do you think that because to me, that is the drive. I hate losing. I hate coming in second. But now you guys are competing in an industry that's a male-dominated industry, right? So you guys have another thing that you guys have to not really prove, but it's
that what makes it more fun.
Yeah, it's a competition, right?
I love being an underdog and then fighting my way to the top. I love that challenge. I mean, I love doing new things. I love being challenged. I think life's pretty boring if you're doing the same thing day in and day out. If life is easy, it's not fulfilling to me. So having that daily challenge and all those other challenges and fighting for a win is also super motivating for me, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, coming from the volleyball world, like always thinking about going to practice, and you always had to give your best. Like I was not the best volleyball player out there, but because I worked hard, because I talked really loud, like I am into this microphone they have to hold up to my mouth. Because and then you have your team captains, like even having that as one of my things I was able to accomplish in life for one of the teams, it's a driver. I mean, it is a competition and you're always looking to improve. And I wholeheartedly believe that is a big part of why we are where we are today.
So let me hang on a second, Alex. Let me ask you this. So when you guys get a no, right? When you're talking to someone and someone tells you guys no, how do you counter that? Like, obviously it's a sales process. And I'm curious how you guys counter that. And do you guys know on average how many no's you get until you get the yes, whether it's a soft touch of an email or something, but do you guys track that? And what is that average?
That's a great question.
It is a great question.
I'll address the first part where you said, what happens when you get a no? To me, it's always it's a not now. It's not a no, it's a not now. And so then it's okay, so I hear you, understand you're saying no, but so that I can learn and learn from this experience and help other property managers and my other conversations going forward. Why is it a no for you for right now? And then usually at that point, after having more conversations, you get to learn more about why it's a no, and then understand that it really may not be a no, maybe a not now. And these are these issues these assumptions that I have. And then I've learned, and then down the road, maybe that person will be a good fit. Did I answer your question? I feel like I just started rambling.
No, you did. You did.
So no is not now. That's excellent. Drea, how do you take no? So I say no. What do you say?
No doesn't mean no, Alex. And that's the first thing I thought of whenever Steve asked that question is no doesn't mean no. And like Ruth has said, it really doesn't mean right now. I know for a fact that with our system, we can help. And if you're the right fit, like there's only a matter of time before you come back to us. And it all depends on the situation. It all depends on where that property management company is at as to how long that no is a no. But there's never a time that because somebody says no, that I'm not touching base with them later on down the road. And because it may just not have been the right time. And we track it in our system as marking it as bad timing, and then essentially creating a task to follow up with them later down the road and see where they're at that time. And many times we reach out to them and they're like, so glad you reached out to us. Let's talk. So.
And I've always learned that no, when somebody says no in general, they're just not seeing the value for what you're asking them to pay. So it's a value proposition that maybe they don't have a pain point associated with that. Because I mean, look, if somebody told me I'm going to sign you up for filters I'm like, I don't need that. There's no reason for that. But then you got to sell them on the value and their pain points, and all of a sudden what the cost of a new AC could be and all the other stuff that goes along with it. Now you're going, well, shit, I didn't know I had a problem, but maybe I do have a problem. You're able to show value. Same thing. I mean, Property Meld is such a no-brainer from a property management perspective because, that's the bane of your existence sometimes is dealing with maintenance issues and communication and coordination. So I can see both of those.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, you seem to want to dominate. Go ahead.
Well, you do. I like to win, Steve. So to touch on that, and we may touch on this later, about how, so I like to take and we all do here at Filter Easy, like to take a consultative approach, a real consultative approach, where we're learning more about the person we're talking to, and we're learning more about their business to see how we can actually help them. So we actually don't get too many no's because we've had so many conversations beforehand to find out what's good timing, how their business operates, and so that later on we can get to a point when it would be a yes and know when that yes will be, so we can get to that point.
Right. But Ruth, you guys are more of a profit center for the business, right? Revenue center. So, and this is what I was thinking, like, why are these guys so passionate about filters? Like, is this all artificial, another AI of some sort, not insemination, not intelligence, but artificial interest, right? I could be, because you can see all these Filter Easy guys pretty happy with their jobs and where they're going and excited about the company. And you obviously is part of that group. But so, and I'm like, why get so excited about filters? But I think I'm getting this. It's the solution, right? I mean, it's the solution you're excited about?
Yeah, it's absolutely the solution, but also the people that we're helping, because, air filters is not that sexy. Whenever somebody asks me what my job is and what I do, and I tell them, they're like, meh. I'm like, yeah, I understand. Air filters isn't the sexiest, most exciting thing, but the industry that I work in, the people that I work with, and the people I work with, not just at Filter Easy, but within the industry, other vendors and property managers themselves, they're really great people, and we have a solution that actually helps them. So.
And I mean, coming from my end, we get to sell something that helps people. And on the contrary, I mean, fixing maintenance is totally sexy. But in all reality, we're making a change for the better. And even, my job is exciting. People ask me what I do, and I'm all like, it's not just hey, I sell a computer, software system. It's nothing like that. It's hey, like, I fix the way maintenance requests are placed, and I make property management lives better. Like it's all about how you look at it. And even if your job isn't that exciting, it's all about how you can help somebody in every job, just as Filter Easy's doing. So
yeah. And I will also say, we're not just helping property managers with Filter Easy, because yes, we do act as a profit center, but we're actually generating behavior change in tenants. They're actually changing their filters. And so they're seeing energy savings, better indoor air quality, better health. And then also the owners love what we do because it extends the life of their system. So what the solution that we offer actually is a win for all three parties. And we love that we're able to provide
Guys, what you do is boring.
I'm just going to say.
Both of you.
How is it boring? How is money boring?
Here's how I think. Because I've been around NARPM, and I'm afraid I'm going to say it, I don't care. Because, a decade, a freaking 10, like literally it was
like
10 years, 2 months, Steve. It's like ridiculous, right? 10 years, I've seen a lot of companies come and go. A lot of them come and stay. And very few of them are this excited, are able to find that kernel of excitement and sort of cultivate it in their teams and employees. It's a very unique skill set. So Thad has it. Ray has it. What do they have, girls? What do they have that our business leaders who listen to this can maybe rekindle? What do they do?
So I will say that we all at Filter Easy have a genuine love for what we do. For me personally, I have this quote, work is love made visible, that I live by and have been for the past years when I came across it. We as a company, at least twice a year, we meet together at the beginning of the year for our sales kickoff. It's a couple of days. We all get together, we crowdsource wisdom. We reflect on the previous year. We reflect on what we want to do. We reflect on what we're going to do going forward and how we're going to serve. And there's a lot of genuine love in that room that happens. And then we meet again in the summer for Filter Easy University. So we have a lot of communication and love for each other that we think reflects in how we deal with people and in the solution that we provide.
And I can tell you from the property meld side, like in all reality, I think it really starts with the culture and the atmosphere that Ray has really created in the office. And we have, all of these big things that we look out for in each other, the humility, the loyalty, the agility, the integrity. Like we have grit, and people genuinely care here. And it's fun. It's fun to care. It's just like, you know, taking it back to the sports mentality, like you play volleyball. It is so much fun when you dive for every ball possible and you may have gotten that ball up and it was a reaction that you never thought you'd get to, right? And so being able to bring that back into here of sitting there saying you do everything you can is 10 times funner to be able to, if funner's a word. Funner. That's a win on a podcast. But it's 10 times more fun to be able to do your job that way, and just the atmosphere and the culture that they've really created to have a killing mentality when it comes to the sales side is huge. And so they're only fueling the fire every day, and that's why everybody loves coming back to their jobs on a daily basis. And I mean, what motivates us to be able to do that? And I can tell you it's because we legit love how happy our customers are. So you may think our jobs in all reality may be boring or what we do is boring, but how our customers love the fact that we make their lives easier is really the driving factor, I believe.
Well, let me just say as since I've got the property management company and Alex and you guys both are vendors, property management is boring. So let's just start with that. I feel like the property management sector is like the average Joes in dodgeball of the real estate world, right? We're kind of like the trash men of the industry. Nobody really likes us, but they need us, right? So what we do in general is not the most sexiest thing in general. So you guys are coming into an industry that is kind of boring in general. So I think that it's one of those things that we just all have to accept the fact. Now, it's a necessary industry. I think it does great. And I think there's a lot of revenue and there's a lot of way to help people and everything, but it's not the flashy sales, you know, you're going out to sell a luxury home or something like that. But let me ask you, sales are sales. So let me ask you, how does your leaders, how did they kind of transcend that to you guys? Because you guys kind of walked into an established industry. You guys are coming in as vendors. You're trying to basically sponsor and get to know property managers. And I don't know if it's a warm welcome or cold welcome when you meet them or when you offer your services. How do they kind of coach you guys through that? Because it's a little bit different. I mean, I know sales is sales. I get all that. But there's a little bit different in this industry. Do you guys agree with that or no?
I'm going to let Drea go first because I've taken the first go at all these questions, I feel
Actually, you know, it's funny, Ruth. I've been keeping track, and you've spoken 4 times first, and Drea hasn't spoken once first. So,
well, it's
I'm glad somebody keeps track of those.
Yeah, I mean, priorities, Alex. But I mean, I'm just trying to help you guys out. We could be talking over each other and then, oh, sorry, no, you go. No, please, you go. Like,
I don't think that we're that kind of person.
Yeah.
We have the power to shut down whatever microphone we choose to, and that's fun.
Good. Noted.
So now I don't even know what the question was. Thanks.
The question was, is this industry different? How different is this industry? And what does your leader, and this is what I want to know. Maybe I'll modify Steve's a little bit. Steve, my apologies. Feel free to interrupt me. But I want to understand exactly what is the tool set, what is the toolbox that you are being handed in order to operate, to do your job better, in order to make the introductions, in order to make this grumpy property manager smile a little bit and get a high out of it. What is that toolbox? Our audience is on the edge of their chairs. Give us some nuggets.
Yeah, thanks for letting me go first on that one, Ruth.
I give.
Yeah, he's such a giver. Okay, so, I mean, I don't know if they necessarily gave us anything because I came in, it's hard for me to say that way because I came into this job kind of unconventional, and I actually applied and interviewed for a job and I didn't get the job. So the first time I interviewed for Property Meld, somebody else passed me up. And the story behind that is Ray told me, he said that you can always go get another job. I cannot get another Property Meld. So you guys can take that for what it's worth.
It's interesting. So you have to work up to it.
I did. I had to really perform. And I mean, it's not even so much like, hey, I love doing my job and I want to do it right. I mean, I grew up in the Midwest to where I may be kind of a unicorn on that side of things. Like, I love to work And it's not unusual for people to have 3 jobs up here, and just because they can. And so, but I came into this job and not knowing anything about the industry and being really a blank canvas, I was able to soak up everything Ray had to give me in all reality.
What was it? Give us couple. Give us one thing that he said or enabled for you. Like, I don't know, he tuned your computer to black and white. I don't know. What do you do to make you effective? You're effective. Give us a nugget. And then we'll go to Ruth. I promise.
Well, I think in all reality, he gave me the confidence that, hey, this product does what it does and we do it right. And it's a no-brainer. Okay. So you can work off of that, as and it may just be my personality, but you can work off of that and be confident and, in a sense, kind of cocky, and to be able to go out to people and talk to them for the first time and sitting there saying, I got you, right? And so you get that smile from that person. But at the end of the day, what he gave me was the confidence. He gave me the opportunity to trial and error. Like, just because I make a mistake, he didn't rag me for it. He didn't get on my case for it, right? Like, he gave me the opportunity to make those mistakes as long as I'm learning from those mistakes. And so that gives somebody that confidence to be able to continue trialing and erring and improving. And at the end of the day, as long as you're willing to learn, you're going to be able to soak up all the knowledge you need in order to be a successful salesperson. That's my thought.
That's great. So this is great. This is to me, this is the kernel of wisdom right here. Absolute confidence in the product's ability to improve your customer's life. Unquestionable, unshakable. And the owner of the business steps in to those shoes and ensures that everybody's excited about this, because every business has problems. Every business has problem customers. Every business has complaints. Phone rings. Sometimes it's a bad tenant, right? Or bad owner, or bad property manager, or whatever the case is. But that absolute steadfastness in the product, and also allowing you to fail forward, right? Fail, because look, I can talk, like I've done this for so many years. I can sit one of my new employees down and tell them everything, like literally in 4 hours. They're going to remember nothing, and it's going to be terrible. But the idea is the trainings that Steve does are amazing. I think that's a great playbook to have all these videos and basically allow somebody to train to their job, but also allow them to fail the space to fail and learn, right, Drea? The space to fail and learn without getting slapped around every time.
Exactly. And so then it's the atmosphere. It all goes back to the culture. And then you're willing to take those leaps, and you're willing to try something new, knowing that you're not going to get fired the next day, and knowing that you have that opportunity to grow and learn and be willing to take that. And they're okay with that. The confidence.
So I got a question. How are you guys, how do you feel about like scripts and role playing and constantly getting better at being a salesperson? Are you guys believers in that? Or are you guys not? Because you guys are salespeople. You guys are talking. You've got a certain way of doing it. Ruth has her hands up like she's going to attack the thing. I'm not sure.
I was stretching.
Okay. So anyways, what are your guys' thoughts about that as salespeople?
Absolutely. I feel like, and I know this is something that's essential, especially in the industry that's dynamic, is to have a white belt mentality into coming into work every day. Willing to learn, willing to fail, because there's no growth without failure. Learning from those mistakes and getting better. So one of the things that we do at Filter Easy that has really helped us all is that we have a sales training at the beginning of the day on Tuesday and Thursday mornings, and we take turns leading that sales training, and then crowdsourcing wisdom from each other. So we're all learning from each other because we're having different interactions with different people. We work in different territories, and Scott or Thad will put those have put that into place and given us the confidence to lead these sales training in front of all of our teammates and be able to instill wisdom in each other based on our failures and our successes.
So do you actually script and pitch like in front of the crowd and like, okay, go, like you're on the phone, go?
We have done that. That happens a lot more. You're actually going through a script and doing a pitch when you're a newer salesperson. And there's definitely a lot. We also record a lot of our demos that we do over Zoom with property managers and whatnot, so that we can go back and learn.
Demos on filter replacements?
Pardon?
You do demos on filter replacements?
On filter, not on filter replacements. I mean, it's pretty much a no-brainer to how to change a filter. We do put instructions in every filter box, but
So I'm going to go. That's a long answer of no. I'm going to say with as far
Not
as
doing scripts.
I want to tell you that I full-heartedly believe in scripts. Like, when I first started, and I'll never forget it, I mean, like I said, I was a blank canvas. Like, I knew nothing. And it was very brand new in many ways, and I had to essentially create my own script. And so I had to listen in on demos with Ray was doing demos. I would type out word for word as best as I could. I took those word for word demos, pulled it into a 5-page script, and essentially it's now a script that we follow from here on out. Like, documentation, being able to document that process and having that script is key. And not only that, but then we have SDRs that are coming into our system now because we have a script, and because we're able to utilize it with other systems, they can start making phone calls within a week and being able to qualify sales leads professionally without even knowing 100% the ins and the outs of our system and what we do and who we connect with. So I think scripts and role playing are key, because I had to do the same thing when I came in, and I didn't have any essential practice sales wise prior to.
Steve.
Sorry.
Yeah, are we interrupting you, Steve?
No, sorry.
Are we interrupting your day?
No,
Sorry.
and I'll agree with Drea that because we definitely do use scripts and do role playing. It just happens a lot more in the beginning when people are newer and they're getting ramped up in their training. So I wholeheartedly believe in that.
Yeah, I just, my thoughts on the whole script. I'm a big believer. I look at, pro athletes, right? They practice all week long for a 2-hour game on Sunday, and they're professionals. So I always, when I hear people tell me that they're professional salespeople, my first question is how often are you practicing? And if they say no, then I say you're not a professional, because you're not acting like a professional. So if you're not constantly getting better, and it's not just the script, it's the tonalities, it's the voice inflections, it's the pausing, it's the finding the value. And we all get normally off track from that a lot because we get lazy, right? It's just normal, right? We get into a comfort zone, we get lazy, and all of a sudden that pendulum starts swinging further and further away from the core script. And people say like, oh, I don't like scripts because it sounds fake. And I'm like, well, it sounds fake because you don't own it. But if you can think back to a song, if we all thought back to a song when we were 15 years old, Drea, that might have been about 5 years ago for you, but if we think back to a song when we were 15 years old in the summer, we can remember that song exactly how it sounds. We remember all the words, everything about it, and where we were when we heard that song. That's a script.
Can I get some Hanson Mbop up in here? Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't even know how old you are. but you see the point, like, that's the thing is, to me, to be a true professional, it's a matter of scripting and role playing every day. And with my BDMs, every morning from 8:30 to 9, we're doing scripting and role playing, and that's
that helps the comfort level tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be honest with you. I think the SDR function, meaning I don't know what SDR translates to, but I imagine these are the people who generate interest initially, like sales
development representative. Yep.
Yeah. All right, beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Acronyms are just in abundance in this industry and
like
everyone.
AI.
But no, BDR, SDR, whatever, BDM, we call them, right? Anything. Point is that I think for initial interest creation and training, as Ruth said, that's pretty ideal. To me, both what you guys do is a consultative sell, and property management specifically, Steve, you can argue me to death on this, but property management is absolutely a consultative sell. There's a lot more there than pitching them a 7% versus 5% fee.
Oh,
right? There's a lot more than trying to assure them that they'll be able to rent a house for $1,500. There's a lot more there. And so it's all about discovery for me. Discovery is about care, asking questions, and so look, people who are loud talkers that control the conversation, they overwhelm the conversation, right? People who sort of ask questions and interviewers, they control the conversation. Well, I almost said it wrong. Yeah, Steve.
That's not a salesperson. That's just someone being a bully. That's not a salesperson. So I agree. Look, when somebody contacts, Property Meld or Filter Easy or you or me, Alex, they're doing it because they have a problem. right? Essentially, they're not saying, hey, I've got nothing to do today. I think I'm going to call a property management company, waste their time, talk to them for a couple hours, and go, no, I was just kidding. I really don't want management services, right? They're not gonna do that, right? I mean, they have
that concept to me. Sometimes it seems that's the case. That's what people do, right? When you answer the phone, they're there just to F with you, you know?
That's what I think. Every time I see Steve's name come across my phone, I'm like, oh, God.
God, what does he want?
Steve wants filters.
Filters. So let me ask you guys this then. How do you guys organize your day?
So my day always starts with a workout in the morning, whether it's swimming or going to the gym and lifting, also practicing my handstands for #handstand challenge.
That's right.
You had to slip that in, didn't you? You had to slip that in. Yeah.
And then I fortunately, so for me, the area I focus on is mostly Arizona, Utah, Nevada, which is a separate time zone from where I live. So I have a large chunk of the morning where I'm able to look at what my day looks like and look back on the day before and do planning for upcoming shows. And so I have a lot of time in the morning after I work out and get into the office to go through that. But I use a lot of tools like Calendly to keep my day organized, to book demos, have people book self-schedule. I use tools, Google Calendar, which I think everybody uses. I use my notes a lot. I also, every morning, have a running to-do list of things I got to do. Of course, being the day, it's much longer than it was in the beginning, and only a couple of things are crossed off, but such is the nature of a to-do list.
So let me ask you this. What's your goal on your to-do list? Is it to start from the top down, or is it to look at the most important thing on the list and get at least
important? It's always I always list it from most important to least important. So like selling filters, and then, Steve Rosenberg down here.
There we go. All right at the bottom?
You're under filters.
You can't even see it. Way down here.
Way down.
Maybe if he was a customer, then he'd be up here, but he's not, so he's way down here.
Yeah, I know. I have a filterless house, I think.
Drea, how do you organize your day?
So organizing my day, you take it all starts the night before, honestly, because we're lucky enough to have SDRs to qualify leads in order to make sure, from the inbound traffic that we're having, they kind of go through that educational space before getting to me. And so I'm able to actually come in and have a, calendar that's really scheduled out for me, which is really nice. So they do their job, they do it correctly. I'm able to beforehand, the night before, go through and see who I'm going to be talking to, obviously doing any research I need to do on it beforehand to be able to see where their sticky points are, where their pain points are, what we're going to be addressing in the demo, having those notes ready to go, finding out more about their company. And then you go through your day with demos. Anything in between, you're sitting there following up with other people, you're doing your emails, you're doing your phone calls. I mean, personally, I'm a very tactical person. So with all the systems that we have and all of the processes that we're documenting and getting into place, I have a lot of that on my plate as well. So not only just following up and doing sales, but I'm also helping document the sales process on our side. And so we have different, systems that we're working through on that. Our CRM will actually keep track of tasks for me, so that way I can do my calls and emails on a daily basis and get them done and make sure that it's empty by the time I leave. So work-wise, that's kind of where I'm at there. Obviously, you always have the spontaneous, tasks throughout the day.
Yeah, like social media stuff, right? That you post.
Social media, like
I'm still waiting for either of you to mention that. Dre, I'm sorry to interrupt. This is rude on my side, but both of you are like social media mavens. And I haven't heard. Did I miss something, Steve? They organized their day without social media involved.
I'm not done yet, Alex. You totally just interrupted me, Steve.
I think they do it when they're hiding in the bathroom or something. I don't think they do it. I think they do it at work job time.
No, and that's where I'm talking about your spontaneous different tasks throughout the day. I mean, I'm constantly fighting about pineapple pizza and about divorcing or not divorcing my work wife.
Oh, no, you can't do it. It's in a prenup. You can't initiate that.
And if, handstands are really worth watching. And of course, I have to work out in the morning because everybody wants to see about the Versa Climber. So, I mean, and there's things that happen throughout the day. We have people come in. We have, just like today, I had one of the property managers send me a thank you card. I'm going to do something social media on that to not only present their company, but just publicly thank them. Like, and so there's different things throughout the day that are always taking your attention, but that's why you have your task list, and that's why you do your research before, so you can take all that spontaneous stuff out there. But,
that's fantastic, guys. I'm going to say that your companies are extremely well represented by two of you. And, I'm honored to have you on this podcast. Honestly, I knew there's a lot of depth. I mean, when Ruth, Jordan and I sat down for lunch, like we had it was kind of like get up and go, take a call and a short chat, but I was really impressed. Drea, it's great to hear that, all of the things that you guys are doing today, I think a lot of people who are listening need to start doing. And to represent their company, put face on your company, make it that face, smiling face.
I just try to have fun at everything that I do, and I have fun with my job and the people I work with, so it makes it easy. It's not like it's a job. It's in the whole, everything is social media. You just got to have fun with it.
I have to disagree. I feel like social media is a job. And it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of practice to be able to, have a presence on Facebook. I mean, you have your algorithms, you have is this an interesting concept? Is it not? And there's a lot of work that you have to put in behind that. And so being able to come up with content that people are excited about and willing to share and willing to fight about, that pineapple pizza thing, I'm okay if I never get tagged in another pineapple pizza post in my life. But people really resonated and they felt connected and they were willing to just argue for fun. That's important. And people coming from a sales side, people want to buy from people they know. And it just makes your job easier. So having the social presence is a benefit to sales, but I do believe in a small way, it is a job in its own form.
All right.
Very well said.
Enough of all the niceness, Alex. I want to see some down and dirty. I got to say that Ruth is up 6-1 of talking first so far in this conversation.
Don't sway the audience, man. It's irrelevant. That fact is not. Guys, don't be swayed by
that. Alex. Thanks, Alex.
I'm stoking the fire a little bit. So, Alex, why don't you explain what we'd like for them to do here?
All right, ladies, it's going to be interesting. By the way, both of you have agreed to this. And so we're not just spontaneously putting you on the spot. You presumably had a little bit of time to prepare, but
you're professionals.
And you're professionals. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And really, you don't really do speak in scripts, but we just want to see if you can and which one of you is better. And then depending on how well you do, I'm going to make a little bit of a surprise announcement after the pitch competition, but we have about 5 minutes to finish up. So let's do a quick pitch off. So the idea is 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. You have to fill the full 30 seconds. Okay. I will raise my hand when 30 seconds begin, and I will raise my hand when the 30 second end. That's it. That's it.
If you get like a five, raise your hand when it's 25, so then you can count down. So we know it's coming.
Well, I don't know if I can do one figure at a time. I'm not that flexible, but. Let's do 5 minutes. Oh, not 5 minutes. 30 seconds. 5 minutes.
Do 5 minutes.
All right, now.
I've had that kind of time.
Who wants to go first?
Guess what Ruth does?
Ouch.
Let's make it 7-1.
Oh.
Well, I might as well just keep with the winning then.
Whoa.
I'll go first.
I'm letting you go first to give you a chance.
I like that.
I'm going to go warm everybody up for you. I'll show you how it's done. I'll show you how it's done.
All right, good. So here's the plan. Here's the plan. 30 seconds. You pitch your company well, and we're gonna have.
I'm not judging.
Instead of Steve and I judging, we're going to have people on the Mastermind Facebook Property Management Mastermind Facebook group to vote, and whoever's done better or has more friends may win. You ready, Ruth?
Sure, let's do it. Filter Easy doesn't give you one more thing to do. We give you one less thing to worry about. So we created a no-cost solution for PMs that gets residents to change their air filters on time. We are a subscription air filter delivery service that acts as a profit center that allows you to hold residents accountable and decreases your HVAC-related maintenance calls by an average 30%. Tenants see energy savings and better indoor air quality. Owners see a longer life for their HVAC system. And you, the PM, regain time, money, and happier clients. All parties win with Filter Easy.
Nicely done. Really nicely done. Almost perfect. Guys, this is not easy. You try it home. You try it home. This is very difficult to do. Good job.
It's not easy when you're reading it from your computer.
Oh,
That's because if I don't, I will go over 30 seconds because I'm like,
you go over 30 seconds.
You know what? I'm going to win because I'm timing myself here.
Has to be the best pitch. The microphone turns off in 30 seconds. Drea, are you ready?
Oh, I am ready. You asked me what Property Mill does, and I'm going to tell you that we are here to make all of your maintenance dreams come true. Typically, we see maintenance coordinators handle around 350 to 450 units before you have to hire somebody else to handle the qualified volume. But our customers are having their coordinators handle 800 to 1,000 with ease. So with the ability of cutting out 60% of your maintenance coordination time and increasing resident satisfaction by 87%, it's a no-brainer.
Well, I already hung up, but awesome. That was really, really good.
Nice.
Really, really good.
Those were both pretty good, ladies. I got to say, those were good.
Round of applause, everybody.
I'm not shaking at all. That was not nerve-wracking.
That was fantastic. Both of you did well. It's the timing that will get you, right? You have to practice a lot. And that's why what we do at the PM Grow Summit is this crazy format that's called 30 by 30. Are you guys familiar with that? Have you been to the last summit?
I did not, but I want to hear about it, so tell me more.
All right, so it's like a TED Talk, right? So what happens is and Steve's going to do it, and it's going to trip him up. Steve is a professional presenter. Like, I've seen him present recently, and he's like, and the last time I've seen him was 2 years ago. It's like a leap, but he will get tripped up by this presentation style because it's 30 seconds, it's 30 slides, 30 seconds each, auto advancing, 15 minutes. Okay. So you have to know the timing. You have to understand how your slides move. You have to really know your stuff, and you have to cut all of the fat. Okay. And so what I'd like you to do, I think you guys both are phenomenal and fantastic.
Thank you.
I'd like to I pulled some strings at the PM Grow leadership and events team. And I think we'd love to invite you guys to do a talk that is as challenging. So somebody's going to win this particular pitch competition, but what we'll ask you to do is do a head-to-head, true competitive style, 7.5 minutes presentation on how to humanize your brand or put a face on your company. And both of you will have 7.5 minutes, and the two of you will have 15 minutes, and the audience will vote live. Like Jordan and I did that head-to-head it was difficult. I won. I took it down. I took him down. And Jordan is very articulate.
Is there video evidence?
I will send you the video evidence. It's that format. So we'd like to have you guys go and do that and just teach us how to put faces on our brands. Are you guys willing to do that?
I'm honored. I would love to.
That would be amazing.
Awesome. So you've heard it here first. You come see Ruth and Drea. I was going to say Druth.
Same thing. We're like one person. We're workmates, so we're one entity, right?
Did you see that Adam Willis posted? I really didn't think it was going to become a thing. Was that on purpose?
No,
or
don't make it a thing.
I just misspoke, and I remembered. Somebody already misspoke for me. Steve, do you let's call this a day. This was a wonderful show.